Let's get ready to riot! Riot!
Though this nation has proudly thought of itself as a ethnic melting pot, in things racial, we have always been, and we, I believe, continue to be, in too many ways, essentially a nation of cowards.
Adam Taxin here with more about Eric Garner and the acquittal of Officer Daniel Pantaleo. That's the it topic right now. Don't know about you, but I am certainly getting rather sick of white trendies, or hipsters, or white liberals, etc., whatever you want to call them. So I put together something of a montage here of things I've seen on Twitter, and this is coming from the, what's the name of the site? Oh, I Can't Breathe, which is the new version of Hands Up, Don't Shoot, though there obviously is some truth to the fact that Garner couldn't breathe. We know that that was the case, unlike Hands Up, Don't Shoot, because we know that Michael Brown certainly did not have his hands up. But here are a few of the tweets. There are so many, I'm just including a small sample here. Colleen talks about a very painful day for New Yorkers, but that was de Blasio's term. She points out it's a very painful day for humankind, as if people who are being genocided in Iraq, the Christians there, really, this is nothing. What they're going through is nothing compared to what went on in Staten Island. Then you have this from Victor Look, who doesn't have a picture, but must be a white liberal because he's the only person who would talk in this way. Unspoken omerta. I mean, nah, that's got to be a white guy. Paul Cooper. I can't believe this is 2014 sometimes, and if you can get a look at his profile picture, that is the type. That is the type. We have this from Olivia. This one's funny. Doesn't it sort of seem like she thinks she's the version, she's a modern day version of, I don't know, George Washington and his troops crossing the Delaware? You know, you're not going to stop me from tweeting about this. You know, some might take up arms, but she's just going to keep tweeting about it. We have this, Becky Bills, Mother Teresa, of course. This picture came out yesterday, but a lot of people are following whoever. It was posted by a white liberal. I could tell from the profile. Yeah, that picture says it all. You see the black police officer just doing his job, and all these white trendy types. It really reminds me of the stories of Harvard in the late 1960s, early 70s, when they would have protests and riots, and they would basically, you know, privileged kids, I went there too myself, but privileged college students basically just spitting on the working class Irish who had to work there as police officers to keep things in order. Maria Castro, not white, I guess she's Hispanic from the picture. Yeah, whatever. If you question what country you're living in, you know, you are obviously free to immigrate to another country, whether legally or illegally. I'm sorry, I just can't resist these things sometimes. Danny O.B., I'm just looking at his picture. My corner of the left libertaria, gotta be a white hipster. Here, by the way, I'm including this just because of the I Can't Breathe thing. Let's just keep in mind what happens to people who smoke too many cigarettes. They often can't breathe too. Yeah, let's just, you know, let's remember why am I forgetting his first name? Garner, Eric Garner, what he did for a living, and how many people are going to get lung cancer now as a result of him. It reminds me of Magic Johnson. You know, everyone makes him out to be such a hero. How many people have AIDS because of what he did? This one is just funny. I mean, all you can do is just picture this guy's voice. I love when whites use the term brothers and sisters. It's like, can I use it? Is it okay if I use it? I want to be one of you. Is my dick any bigger now? Oh, okay. I really respect your virility. But Daniel Emery Price says, to my black brothers and sisters, I wish I had the words. I do not. I'm so sorry. And we'll get to some black brothers and sisters, which I'm sure he doesn't care about. Ashley Argota is missing NYC a little extra tonight. Wish I was there. I think she means wish I were there. Unbelievable. Well, whatever. Ellen wrote something on some wall, and she's very proud of herself. She made herself up very well to do so and take a picture of it. Donald Karabatsos. very proud of himself because the protesters have now shut down the Brooklyn Bridge, Lincoln Tunnel, and the Queensboro Bridge. Of course, that was a little bit after midnight. But I'm sure he'd be very excited if people who worked hard for a living couldn't get to their jobs. That would show them. Gina Minks, this one is funny. Any of you read Paul Kersey's Stuff Black People Don't Like website? Just Google SBPDL, because he often makes the point about the contrast between what we accomplished through NASA in the 1960s and what we've prioritized now. Yeah, he's written some good stuff. Google Paul Kersey and SBPDL and NASA. Julie Bryant. Broadway stars send a message about police violence. Okay, whatever. I'm sure people want their police protection when they come in and spend a night on the town. That's for rich people for the most part. Dabney Port. Okay, you know, I guess she finds something deep and innocuous and at a higher level. Samantha Clark. A movement is happening. There is so much unrest in our country. Ignore it all you want, but change is going to come. I guess she's into hope, I'm sure, as well as change. We know the type. Now let's look at just a few pictures of things that, you know, these so sensitive white liberals probably don't care about. This is, of course, the Christian girls who were abducted in Nigeria, probably had their clitorises taken off and were sold as Muslim slaves. But we know that these people do not care about them, despite Michelle Obama's hashtag and pouty face. And we have this, more blacks, just a bomb at a school in Nigeria, killing nearly 50 boys, all presumably Christian, all certainly black. That, of course, isn't trendy. We have Chicago murders. Who cares about that? It's all by black people. Then we have a white woman who was just raped by 5 black men, though the title obviously won't tell you that because it's a big media story, but I saw the pictures, so I'm not going to include it here. Now, someone I really respect. She is one of my 2 favorite women in terms of writing. You should really look at her site, debbieschlessel.com. It's spelled as her name is, which you can see right there. The other one, by the way, is Ann Barnhart, which you can find at barnhart.biz. Yeah, way to tell it like it is, Debbie. That's why we love you. Gina Minks. No, I already did that one. Oh, no, I'm on the wrong one. Equality. That's what someone uses as their Twitter name. I live in a world where people can videotape a murder. By the way, we're not using videotape these days, equality, but no one is arrested for it because it was a cop that did it. Well, the evidence may have been a factor too, and it's not a murder until it's proven that way. It's a homicide. And it might not have been that. It might have been a heart attack. Just saying. Deborah Tornello. No, I love people like this. Fact. You're much more likely to be killed by a U.S. police officer than by a terrorist. Not me. You know, not necessarily me. Maybe if you're someone who harasses cops and doesn't comply with arrests and is committing crimes, but not me. I'm not more likely to be killed. And I'm Jewish, so I'm even more likely to be killed by a terrorist every time I go to synagogue. If you're black, that likelihood soars. Well, you know what? How about this, Deborah and Tornello? How about you talk about who's actually committing the crimes and putting themselves in a position to interact that way with police officers? But we liberals never like to talk about who's actually committing the vast majority and an extremely disproportionate amount of the violent crime in the U.S. But no, we can't talk about that. You know, nothing new here. Just look at the guy's name and his profile picture. NY Groovex. Enough said. Steve Marmel, I get a kick out of this guy. He has a very serious look on his face. Hey, politicians, quiet in the face of Eric Garner. Lists are being made, and this will be remembered in 2016. Well, no, we just had an election, and you know anyone who posts things like that, we know is already voting for people like Chuck Schumer because he's a real man of the people. If you're in New York, you know that's your guy, Steve Marmel. But swing voters don't care about that. Swing voters are very sick of black crime. Let's be honest here. This is a Democrat thing. Alex Jones, you know, he makes good points on his show, but I think he's a little bit of a phony. He has never anything to say about Muslim terrorism, or almost nothing. He minimizes it, and you know, he's been consistent on police brutality and the excesses of a large state, but I don't know. Just something about him rubs me the wrong way, though I do occasionally listen, and he has some interesting material. I just can't stand his voice. He talks like this. And I wonder if it's genuine or not, but here he says, Obama gets it right. This is about police brutality, not race. And no excuse for someone to die over a cigarette tax. I don't do a very good Alex Jones impersonation. Lindsey Williams, because the land of the free has turned into the home of injustice against people who do not share my skin color. Shut the F up, Lindsey Williams. You don't care about this person just killed recently in Lower Little Rock by a black, this guy, in a hit and run. You don't care about Layla Peterson in Milwaukee, whose neighborhood has just become more vibrantly diverse, shot and killed 5 years old in her grandparents' she was in her grandfather's lap when she was killed by black gang members. Yeah, you don't care about that, Lindsey Williams. I'm not buying it. Or you don't care about this woman from New Jersey who, had the incredible violation of snitching, as they call it, after her place was burgled. You don't care about her. Stop the phoniness. That's my general message with all of this. Just a little bit more to go. Ethan's, oh yeah, let me just get to my people. I'm Jewish, but I actually try to observe Judaism. As you know, if you follow me at all, nothing annoys me more than so-called liberals of Jewish descent, as I call them. They're not. I don't even like to call them Jews. Ethan Zuckerman, any of these people might not be Jewish. I'm judging from last names, but Ethan Zuckerman, your type does not ever work as police officers. We know that. And Maggie Levin, particularly offensive, comparing what happened to Eric Garner to what happened to the Jews in the Holocaust. You should know better than that, Maggie Levin. Disgusting. Peter Sussman, don't let press call it an apology. Officer feels very bad. That's no apology. I feel very bad when I get a stomachache. By the way, want to bet Peter Sussman had very little to say when Jewish rabbis were murdered at synagogue in Jerusalem, Israel, a couple weeks ago. And of course, we have the patron saint of so-called liberals of Jewish descent. He goes by Jon Stewart, but we know to call him John Leibowitz. Dave Silverstone, another Jewish name. Just picture this guy. I can just hear the nasal voice. Crying first time in a long time. Not sure whether because of injustice or the beautiful unifying outcry against it in NYC. Hashtag I can't breathe. And Harold Itzkowitz. Apparently so do black people. No distinguishment between blacks who don't resist arrest or don't get in a situation where it's one way or the other, and blacks who make a living selling illegal cigarettes, which, by the way, you probably vote for, Harold Itzkowitz. You probably support the Democrats. I don't. No distinction made, just another pathetic Jewish liberal. And Jeffrey Lieber, just shut the F up. Looking forward to a time when African-American men are free in America, or in American, as he puts it. Anyhow, you get the point. I don't much care for white hipsters, so-called liberals of Jewish descent, trendies, as Alex Jones does call them. We'll borrow that from Alex Jones. You get the point. You should subscribe to me. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff like this. Not afraid to do what Eric Holder advises us and talk honestly about race, because you're certainly not going to get that from the mainstream media, even Fox News. So subscribe at youtube.com/Taxin. Thanks for listening.